1,000-year date and using that Schofield reference
And
Bible.
that's probably because Ava went east all the way to China and populated it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's because the dynasties are at 5,000-6,000 years.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it. Here, listen to the decree of Nebuchadnezzar.
They get Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego get thrown into the fiery furnace. It was heated up 7 times because he was angry at them. He sees the 4th person walking around inside, and then he says, "Praise." And when they come out, Nebuchadnezzar says, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel to rescue his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship a God other than their own God. Therefore I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego will be cut to pieces in their homes and turned into piles of rubble, for no other God can serve in this way."
All right.
No other God can save. Can save in this way.
So you get this benediction by this thoroughly pagan king. Now, Daniel's book was written during what we call the Second Temple period. It's part of the intertestamental period, or the part of Daniel's book is being written in the vicinity of the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes, and so it's a much later memory. But what ends up perduring, even into the Second Temple period, is this idea of Israel being faithful as a vehicle and as a channel of Yahweh's blessing even to the nations. And so when we think about exile and the return, and this is going to start sounding a little bit more like Christian ecclesiology, I want you to start thinking in terms of the death and resurrection of Israel. Because that's what it is. Exile, as I said, was an extraordinarily efficient means of ethnic cleansing. Nobody came back from exile. Nobody. And yet this remarkable thing happens. The Persians are able to get over and defeat the Babylonians. The Persians come to power. Nehemiah manages to figure out a way to convince the Persians to allow the Israelites to return. And so Israel is rather dramatically resurrected and reconstituted as a people. This death and resurrection thing develops throughout the Deuterocanon, particularly in 2nd Maccabees, and becomes a hope for a bodily resurrection. That's that 2nd Maccabees 7, right? Where it's not the Babylonians this time, it's the Greeks forcing the Jews to give up their identity, to renounce their circumcision, to be reconciled, under the violent persecution of Antiochus IV. And they say, "Go ahead and kill us, because God will give my body back if you burn it up or hack it away." Right? Well, this death, resurrection of Israel thing gets transposed into New Testament language in the death and resurrection of Jesus. So the way to understand Jesus is as the faithful Israelite who remains faithful, who endures death, and who is resurrected. And so what do you expect a resurrected Israel to do? Well, probably something like appoint 12 new people. Because there were 12 tribes. So you got a new Israel. And a new Israel that's then commissioned at the end of Matthew's gospel to do what?
Go to all nations.
Go and gather the nations, yeah.
And so all of the other bits, and we're going to move this more into seminar stuff when we get back from lunch, we'll start talking about images of the church and draw out some of what you've already read in Matero's article and start talking about some of this. But all of this new way of talking about the church that you start to see in the Gospels, you start to see it in the letters of Paul, you will see it toward the end of our time together when we talk about the Holy Spirit in Luke Acts, is all iterations of this Old Testament ecclesiology coming to birth. It is the fulfillment of the Abrahamic identity of Israel brought down to a single faithful son of Israel, a single faithful son of Abraham, who brings blessing to the nations. And so that all the nations will bless themselves, possessing the gates of your enemies. The reconciliation that you're talking about, the identity of the church, is continuing a story that's been developing since Genesis 1. So anyway, that's my way of doing this. We're a few over past noon, but
So good.
so stew on that a little bit. If you got any questions, we can answer them in a preliminary way from when you get back from lunch. But we'll start cranking on some of this other stuff as we start to chew on it. Okay. All right.
Can we leave our books here?
Yeah. But we're going to sell them.
No. This one won't sell. So and is the cafeteria open?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know, but
Oh, it probably, let's see, it probably is.
That's lunchtime.
Yeah, it probably is. I never even thought.
I
Never
don't.
considered going
Yeah.
there.
I don't know if it is or isn't. But the best barbecue in Memphis is right
Oh,
over there.
Central.
Yeah.
It's-
I was thinking-
Although you Durant will get you into a knife fight with you and tell you it's the cozy corner.
Really?
Going
He's-
to Subway down the street, and bring you on. You have to.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Subway?
Right down here. You
Yeah,
can
that's
ride
where
across
I'm
the
going.
block.
I love Subway.
That's it.
So, I'm good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna bring 1 foot for both of you, of some kind. Yeah.
I mean, if you.
Yeah, I could do it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get
I
you.
mean,
What kind?
Oh, okay, half. Let's see, the Italian stuff though.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
that's good for me.
Thank you, eh?
Yeah, no problem.
You like mayo on yours, or
Yeah.
a little bit of mayo, salt, and pepper? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I like the hot peppers.
Oh, that would be good. Wheat bread, any special Italian bread?
I don't even know. I haven't been to Subway in so long.
Well, they have all kinds of bread.
Do that.
Bread is bread.
Does the 5 grain work?
What's the what?
The 5 grain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay.
We'll fix it up.
Well, that was a workout.
All through the whole Testament.
Yeah. I wanted to mention to them, but like that film, The Bible's Buried Secrets. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. That would be a good summary for them to look at that.
Mhm. So, you think that was effective?
I thought it was very well done.
Good.
Yes.
That's stuff I've been
Do you have
working
this in a paper something?
on. I've got it in papers.
Papers.
Yeah, no, I throw this off into reading the Dead Sea Scrolls and
Uh-huh.
other stuff with it too, and it's just it's far afield from what I do, but it's stuff that I've been chunking out. One of these days, if there's grace to start writing some of this down somewhere.
That would be a great thing to write up. I need to run over to my office for a minute.
Go for it.
And what time are you going to start back? Like 1?
Yeah, that's what I was sort of generally planning.
Okay.
Doctor, I was having flashbacks of Voss. And which actually, I intentionally, seminary a lot of times you plow through books and it's kind of just like an academic grind. I read that.
Yeah.
Slow down. And so what is this? What are you trying to say? And I was amazed.
Yeah, no, it's tough sledding. It's not a fun book to read.
No.
But it's really well done. I don't know if you've ever seen that book by Van Gameren.
That seems like
it's Voss 2.0 that's
Yeah.
a little bit more in conversation with modern scholarship.
I didn't have that. I never read that.
Yeah, I cut my teeth on that. I actually bought that hard copy right there at a place in. I've got 2 copies. This is my other copy. But yeah, no, I've got my original copy I bought at a bookstore on a whim in a high school.